Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray edition of the Godfather Trilogy. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Alright, the Godfather Trilogy is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Paramount. It comes in a standard edition available at your local and online retailers, as well as a collector's edition available online. Now, as far as these films go, you know, there's nothing really I can add to this whole conversation about the legacy and importance of the Godfather films. For me personally, I feel that they are extremely important to just cinema, and they have directly influenced countless films that have come after them. More so the first two movies, of course. For me personally, I watched the original Godfather when I was maybe 10 years old. Of course, not really understanding a whole lot what was going on. But it wasn't until my late teens that I really dived into the entire Godfather set. Wow, I mean, it's something I go back to every couple years, and I find something really just mesmerizing about the storytelling, you know, the acting. I mean, so many great careers that have come out of these films. You know, and I even watched the complete, you know, timeline version that happened, you know, appeared on cable a long time ago. You know, I mean, these movies are fantastic. Now, I will admit, I like a lot of people don't really get into Godfather 3 too much, and for this review, I watched Coda for the first time. And I have to say, I think Coda improves on the story a bit. Of course, there's still some, you know, weird issues here and there, but I think overall the movie is better for it. So I like it. You know, I'll throw that into my regular rotation. I don't think I'll really go back to the theatrical versions of Part 3, maybe once in a while, but yeah, the Godfather Trilogy, check it out. It's important, it's fantastic, it's beautifully shot and acted, and it's just something that should be on everybody's shelf. All right, we're going to talk about the picture quality and the audio in just a moment, but first let's do a quick unboxing. Okay, we have the standard edition of the Godfather Trilogy on 4K Ultra HD. I'll be honest, the packaging I'm not a big fan of. It feels very flimsy. The artwork is nice though, and also on the individual inserts looks really good too, but I would have liked a steelbook set or something a little more solid, like when Sony released the Karate Kid 3 movie collection. They were in individual cases, but it is what we have here. So then we have the back. That's fine. And we'll start with the first one. Like I said, I love the artwork on these. I think it looks really good. Yeah, so I mean, imagine if these were individual, you know, cases. I think it would be more durable, but also I think it would make collectors feel a little bit better about it. But yeah, I mean, okay. And then we have the bonus disc, which contains the other cuts of the Godfather 3 and the bonus material. So, like I said, artwork wise, I think these work very well. Just I would have liked something a little sturdier. So, all right, now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. The Godfather Trilogy on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 1:5:1 aspect ratio with native 4K resolution and HDR10 and Dolby Vision for the grading. For purposes of this review, I will be discussing the Dolby Vision encode. Now, all three films underwent a restoration process supervised by the director, Francis Ford Coppola. Film grain is noticeably visible, mostly as a fine layer preserving its cinematic appearance. I personally didn't notice any digital scrubbing or DNR applied to this release. I've heard rumblings that there may have been some color timing adjustments made for this 4K presentation. With Coppola's personal involvement in this transfer, I'm confident the look of this film is as intended for this Ultra HD release. In all three films, black levels are fairly strong with only the slightest hint of black crush in a few nighttime scenes, most notably in the first two films. By no means is this a deal breaker. The casual viewer may not even notice it, but considering the darker look of the films themselves, it's not a surprising find. Darker interiors maintain good shadow detail. The pinstripes on Don Corleone's suit, for instance, are clearly visible without being lost, and similar scenes produce just as good results. And the third film, Coda, appears to have more stable black levels overall. They look deep during nighttime sequences with no signs of elevation. As for the color palette in all three films, colors generally appear bold in appearance and in certain scenes quite striking. Skin tones are equally impressive in all three films, looking naturally warm. Some outdoor scenes, such as the wedding in the first film's opening or when Michael is laying low in Sicily, exhibit a wonderful looking palette. Speaking again to the wedding, while the colors do look great, it does feel a little bit bright in that particular scene, almost overly so, but I feel that's an outlier. Other daytime scenes in all three films look just right. In automobiles, lighting, such as outside of the restaurant with Michael's meeting of Salazzo and McCluskey, it gives a nice visual pop with the neon lighting. And Kay's red coat in the first film stands out, as does in Coda the red outfits the clergy wear midway through the film, and other instances also follow suit. Costuming, especially in Godfather 3 Coda, offers more of a boost to color. Visually, since Coda is the newest of the three films, colors tend to pop just a little bit more in this one, but all three look fantastic with Dolby Vision. As for the 4K resolution, textures in general look much more defined in all three films. Sonny's body, resulting from the ambush in the original film, looks a little bit better here than it did over on the Blu-ray, and the turn-of-the-century architecture in Vito's flashback sequences all look much more detailed. And also in Part 2, younger Vito's scenes often have an intentional softness to them, but still yield great increases in detail. Close-ups fare the best, of course, but mid-level shots also look very good in that regard. In Godfather 3 Coda, Michael's aged makeup doesn't show any cracks in the appearance and looks just as good as it can on 4K. All three films of the Godfather trilogy support a Dolby True HD 5.1, and the first two a newly restored 2.0 mono mix. For the Part 1 and Part 2, having previously listened to the 5.1 on the existing Blu-rays, I opted to listen to the mono tracks for this particular review. All in all, I do feel that the mono tracks are a great option to listen to, but I have to admit I did miss the slightly more open 5.1. Purists will no doubt enjoy that the original audio is here as an option. Dialogue and on-screen action are rendered very well, and it's an enjoyable way to listen to the classic films. Coda, or Godfather 3's 5.1, remains unchanged, as are the first two movies when I went back and listened to a few key scenes, so owners of the existing Blu-rays will know what to expect in this area. Surround activity is mostly used to support occasional ambience in all three films, but more importantly, the film's score is prominently featured. The soundtrack's clarity, especially considering the age of the first two movies, remains very impressive. For the picture quality, I'm going to give the Godfather Trilogy on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray a solid A. Visually, this movie looks fantastic. The 4K restoration, supervised by Coppola himself, I think looks really good on the format. The HDR and Dolby Vision grading does a respectful job when it comes to the color palette. Black levels look generally excellent, and the increase in resolution, it's noticeable in all three films. I'm sure a few people will nitpick one or two items about the visual quality, but for me, this is the best way to view the trilogy on disc. For the audio mix, I'm going to give this one a B+. While the Dolby True HD 5.1 is something we've heard before on the existing Blu-rays, it still remains a very impressive audio experience. But for me, the real winner here is the additional 2.0 mono tracks added to the first two films. I think it's really going to make purists happy here, and either track that you choose, the Godfather Trilogy is in good hands audio-wise. So that is my review of the Godfather Trilogy on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you're interested in picking up a copy for yourself, I will leave an Amazon link in the comments section below. If you use it, it really helps out the channel. But if you have the trilogy on 4K already, let me know your thoughts. Let's talk about it. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.